Shut up and sit down.
Hello, people! I'm waving and no one can see me because it's still up on the title screen. Go me. Fail number 1! Woohoo! Welcome to Epic Fail, episode 145.
Shut up and sit
down. And fail number 2, it's repeating itself. Go me. Anyway. Excuse me. Holy cow. Thought I took care of that pre-show.
Holy Torrens, you mean?
Yeah. I'm going to be editing that out, so mark that down. Anyway, I am Draven Dresden, the one who apparently can't talk. With me this week, we have no Galv because he got tired into a wedding. Those are his words, not mine. Take what you want out of that, I don't know. We've got a couple returning guests this week. We have underneath me here, picture-wise, not literal. Mine's out of the gutter, people. That's a different podcast. We got Zeph. I'm just going to say Zeph and not go through the whole thing because I'll screw it up.
Aloha, nerds, and you can read my whole story on how I got her name on my blog. Which, well, I'll link for you later.
All right. And then another returning guest, although it has been a little while.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. We got Totem. How are you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing good. It's it's been a while. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on within the Blizzard universe, and can't wait to just talk about what's going on. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, and I'm still technically, I think, part of Heroes Never Die. I don't really see much anymore, but, that's another story.
We've
no
kind of done a
feelings
restructure. But
I brought you on the show, and you were nice enough to say, yeah, sure. So
I mean, there's nothing going on anyway. So
yeah, there's
I'm more than happy to help.
Going on right now. It's not like Game 5 of another series this week. Right this
yeah, not
second.
like the third Game 5 of today or anything.
Oh yeah, I guess it has been. Yay! Lots of Overwatch today. And you know what that means? Lots of the free tokens. I've earned enough tokens for, I think, 6 skins. Well, I mean, obviously you got the 100 to start with, so 5 free skins, I think. But I've actually spent some of them, too. We'll talk about that here in a bit. So how have you guys been doing? Zeph, you're a lady, so you get to go first. How's your week been?
So in Warcraft, I got some new gear on the priest. Been leveling some mages. Subwat, which is in the chat, has been on Hort's side with me. And yeah, I have 5 mages. I'm a little crazy. That's a huge sign that I may be maining a mage text expansion. Question mark? Don't know. But yeah, I also mentioned that Zeph is, big news. Zeph's going to be my main next expansion. So
I would make fun of you for the 5 mages, but just max level alone, I have 4 demon hunters and 4 paladins, and so I can't really say much.
Well, at this point, I have 5 mages, 3 warlocks, 3 paladins. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I've got max level of every class. I'm just saying I put way too, because it was just too easy to get a demon hunter max level.
But yeah, doing the whole working on the battle pets in WoW too. Before the last show I was on, I was about 110 on the realm among the Alliance. Now I'm sitting pretty at like 85 or something like that on the realm among the Alliance players. So that's pretty good.
I should probably get back into battle pets at some point, but that means I got to do the daily so I can increase how many I can carry with me. Because I'm at the max and I've got some that I can't even learn because of that. But anyway, Totem, how have you been like the last few weeks?
I mean, doing 3 podcasts a week, trying to juggle all this Overwatch content. It's been a lot. We got the league going on. We got contenders across 7 regions now. Thankfully, I only cover 2 of those regions, so definitely a whole lot going on. We got some new
So what you're
gear.
telling me is you're slacking on the regions.
Yeah, what I'm saying is there's not enough hours in the day for me to cover all 100 and whatever many matches there are a week now in the Overwatch esports scene. So yeah, on that front I'm slacking, but other than that, we are covering more content than we have ever in the past. But outside of that, obviously we got the new event, which has been great. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I got a game night coming up next week, which I'm pretty pumped for. Hopefully I'll try to figure out how to actually deal with Brigitte, which has been a pain in the butt because last game night she was just kind of tearing everyone a new one because she had just come out that week. So yeah. That being said, she can 1v1 just about anyone right now. So I don't know what the answer is going to be. So I look forward to kind of cracking the code on that one.
Yeah, I haven't tried her outside of the actual try mode, so I haven't really messed with her too much. I have had her on my team for said event for the any hero, but I don't know. Either I had a not great one, or the entire team was terrible, which it was me on the team, so at least 1/4 of the team was bad. But I did get a compliment, however. I played an all-hero Pharah for the new event, and I got a compliment saying I was a good Pharah. I was second on everything. With second on kills, and I think I had the most damage done or something, and all that. I was least amount taken and all that fun stuff, which is always fun. But anyway, enough of that. We'll talk more about the event stuff here in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But we got this weird announcement. Oh, before we go on, I do want to make one special thank you to Theory, who is not technically part of the show, but as I've mentioned to him before, he's allowed to come back anytime he wants. He put together the little layout thing we got tonight. So, thank you, Theory. That was kind. Although I do miss the Epic Fail billboard, which is a real billboard. I've mentioned that before. Found a billboard when I went on my vacation in January, and it said Epic Fail on. I was like, gotta take a picture of it. And I've been using it since. But yeah. So, actual Blizzard stuff now. What are you guys doing in November?
Ooh, man, that's
And by
that's a tough
November, I
question.
mean the first weekend of November. Possibly a few days surrounding that also.
Sitting in front of my computer with a virtual ticket.
I am not paying $10 at the Hilton bar and just drinking from a flask. That's what I'm doing.
That seems like a good idea.
That's what I've been doing.
Maybe some vodka.
Yeah, who knows? When it's Totem, you never know what's in that flask. It could be water. It probably isn't.
It's whiskey.
Oh, and
Guaranteed.
since we're talking about this, I'm gonna kind of hound Fresley a little bit. I have a personal thing that I'm gonna do for Fresley because Fresley is too proud.
Are we allowed to advertise this on a PG-13 show?
Yes.
Okay.
It's hashtag Fresley to BlizzCon 2019. There's Frazzlecast t-shirts that you can buy. Send him to BlizzCon next year. If we can't make it this year, get on that Fraz pants. You can do it. Throw him bits at his channel whenever he's streaming. The whole 9 yards, because that boy needs to get to BlizzCon. I need a live Frazzlecast, okay?
I want to go back to BlizzCon. I went once, and I've had issues or other reasons why I can't since then. So one of these days I'll make it back. I really want to make it for an expansion announcement year though, because I haven't gotten that yet. So, I mean, you know, I can't make any promises. This year will be virtual ticket, 100%. There is no way I can go unless I win the lottery. So there's like a 0.000, so a whole lot of zeros, 1% chance that I can go.
Basically, the drop chance of Invincible.
I would go with the drop chance of getting 10 Invincibles in the same run.
Good to know.
Because, yeah, that's just... It's very low. So, yay, lottery. And if I do happen to win the lottery, there are some people that will be going to BlizzCon with me. Not going to name any names.
The whole chat room.
I'm not going to name any names. It's possible that most of the people in the chat room will get free tickets. But outside of that, who knows?
As long as I get to have a drink with your lady, Carrie, you know, I'm good. And Totem, just because he's a good time.
I mean, I'm going to be there regardless. You wouldn't have to pay for my way there.
Oh, I wouldn't pay for your way there. Heck with you.
Well, I mean, like the actual ticket.
Oh, okay.
Not like my airfare and all the board, all that. No.
If I win the lottery and it is a decent enough size lottery, it would be here is your plane ticket, here is your BlizzCon ticket, here is the hotel floor we're staying on. And yeah. Obviously,
I don't even need a room. Just give me like a small space outside the hallway.
I slept on a floor about half a mile away in a hotel room, but it was on the floor. So I wanted to go that bad. But anyway, yeah, BlizzCon got announced this week, and I found it funny because people were taking bets on, are they going to even bother doing an announcement anytime soon? And it got to the point where Ro from Realm Maintenance was like, yeah, I don't think they're going to do an announcement. And within like an hour, here's the announcement. That was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. I was laughing when I saw that too, because it basically just like shut Ro up because like, oh, it's not happening, and then what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like I chuckled for a good 10 minutes. Like that was, I mean, I'm sorry, Ro, to laugh at your expense. I love you and everything that you do, man. But Jesus.
Yeah, it was like Christmas morning because I woke up and I saw the BlizzCon news, and then I was in a mass panic because I'm like, okay, I need to go get on my airfare now. I'm gonna plan what days I'm going. So like I'm gonna fly out on the 30th, so I'll be in California for Halloween this year. So I got to take my costume with me for Halloween. We'll do a movie night with my PIC Vashti, and I'm doing Vegas after again this year. So go visit a couple more of my gamer friends that I know won't probably be making it out. So go meet up with Slambo and Boss. So Cali and Vegas, can't complain. So be a nice 2 weeks.
That'll be nice. I was out there for a week when I went, but we got, obviously the announcement of itself. Hey, guess what? It's going to be the first weekend of November, which is when it has pretty much always been since they moved it from October to November. And tickets will be going on sale in May, right there around my birthday. Like, same week of my birthday. I won't actually say what day that is, but if you go back in Twitter history, you can figure that out. Wednesday, which is a raid night for me, so that'll be fun. May 9th at 7 p.m. Well, it's only going to be like 2 minutes, so it'll be like pulling on time for us. Wednesday, May 9th, 7 p.m. Pacific. That is 10 p.m. Eastern. Exactly when my raid is supposed to start is round 1, and then round 2, Saturday the 12th at 10 in the morning Pacific, which is 1 p.m. Eastern my time. And then benefit dinner. A really expensive ticket, but it all goes to charity, so The 16th of May, which is a Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. They just like screwing up with my raid times. I don't think any of my raid is going to go to the benefit dinner because it's expensive. It's what, $750?
Yeah, $750.
At least it was last year. I don't know if it is this year.
It's still the same.
Yeah, and you get access to all the BlizzCon stuff and all that fun stuff. And I love the virtual ticket. Don't get me wrong, virtual ticket, especially this last year, was amazing. It was great. There was all kinds of new stuff you could see and watch and all that. But if you ever have the chance to go, go. Yeah,
go
expensive.
at least once. Yeah, definitely.
It's expensive, but
So
you don't need to be at the Hilton or the Marriott or anything right there. You can go a couple blocks down the road and just walk a little extra. And you'll get a whole lot cheaper, unless you want to, spend the extra money for those two places, which I would recommend not the Hilton for your hotel, just based on they've been having DJs that weekend at night, and nobody knows why. So it gets loud. So I would say if you're going to get a hotel out of those two, I'd say probably the Marriott would be the better of the two.
I mean, well, here's the thing. It's kind of like the DJ situation is kind of like a catch-22. There are people that really like that sort of thing because it's still always packed. And then there's people that will just take their business and go hang out across the street at the Marriott. It's not really like affecting the crowd sizes there. So they're just going to keep doing it. They're still making their money. But yeah, it does tend to get on a lot of people's nerves though, because it is pretty damn loud. So it's really hard to like hold a conversation with someone when you're in the lobby area. So most people just are saying, okay, we're just going to pack up, go across the street, and just continue off from there.
Yeah. But yeah, get your plane tickets if you haven't already. Get your hotels if you haven't already. Obviously, you can't have your BlizzCon tickets yet. Even if you don't get a ticket, like if you don't go through this system and get a ticket, still go. Or still plan to go if you can afford it. Simply because between when the tickets go on sale and when the date happens, it might not be in your name, but you could still get in because people will sell their BlizzCon tickets even the day of. They're like, hey, I can't afford, or even the day before, I guess I should say. If someone wants to buy my extra ticket, my friend had to cancel on me. There's always going to be someone and all that. So, plus, a lot of people go just for the parties and stuff anyway. So that's always fun.
I mean, that pretty much is BlizzCon for me now. I mean, since the first time I've gone every year since, and so much of it now is just hanging out with, the community and, the Convert to Raid community and the podcast crew and just checking out the parties. There's always stuff going on. So even if you don't have a ticket, you could always find someone to, I don't know if I should say this, but there's always a chance that, someone might loan you their badge so you can go check out the floor. I mean, that does happen. But regardless, there's always stuff going on pretty much around the clock. So if you don't have a ticket, you're not going to be missing out on too much. I mean, there are always people just hanging out, going out to like breweries, checking out, Disney, doing all that sort of stuff too as well.
Yep.
So talking about DJs and music and stuff like that, any thoughts on who's going to be the closing act?
I haven't even looked yet, but I would say check out, if they have it up, touring dates for that area and see who's in that area during that time frame and has that day open, because they're not allowed to announce it yet.
Now, I know when Weird Al did his spiel, which was terrible, by the way. I mean, I like his stuff, but for me, live for him, it was sort of weird. I just didn't enjoy it as much. That same year, Avenged Sevenfold was doing things in the Anaheim area, and I really thought it was going to be them. So it's like I don't want to say something and it's not that. So, I mean, there's going to be a few tours that I'm thinking that might hit in and around there. So, like, there's a few people I'm thinking that could be the closing act, but I don't
Well,
want to get my hopes up.
yeah, it's not gonna be anyone like Nine Inch Nails. Although I would love to see Nine Inch Nails there. It just isn't gonna happen.
No, I'm thinking more of like the big tours now. First thing that comes to mind is, Lindsey Sterling and Evanescence. Ember was just released, Breaking Benjamin, so that's a whole thing. That could be a possibility. So
Yeah, I have no idea who it's going to be yet. I haven't really even put any thought into it. I usually let the announcement get about a week or two of just, okay, let the hype in my head die down, and then I start my prediction process. And one of the first ones I do is the band. And then I start going into, all the game stuff and all that. Some years I'm better at predicting things than others. Last year I did terrible. The year before that, I freaking predicted almost exactly Sombra. And Totem remembers that because I never let him not hear it from me.
That's all you
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I honestly don't care who the band is going to be. More times than not, I won't even go to the concert just because it's always like the best time to do some of the demos because, your last chance. And really, like, no matter who they pick, like, it's always a very, like, divisive answer to who people want to see. I mean, there are people that haven't liked some of the people that they've chosen. There's been a lot of, like, 90s type bands that really haven't done a whole lot lately that people are just kind of like raising their eyebrows at. So I don't know. It seems like they just can't. It's really hard to find like a universal band that covers, just the age group and just the different like regions that people are from. Really.
Yeah, there's no band out there that's going to cover everybody.
Yeah, and not everybody's going to be happy with it. Like I said, I wasn't happy with Weird Al, so and that was just me. Like, there was a few people that are like, yeah, this is sort of strange.
Yeah.
But, Carrie brings up a good point in the chat, their Imagine Dragons is ending their tour in October, so that would be a good chance for them to maybe come in, and they're really popular. So, and Muse was really good. Like, I enjoyed that. So there's that.
Yeah. Anyway, it's something to think about anyway. We got plenty of time. They usually don't announce the band until, August?
Yeah. I can see them announcing it on if they released it.
I don't think it'll be that day. If it's anywhere near the WoW expansion date, it's either going to be 2 weeks after or the week before. But anyway, moving on. Here's the great Diablo news of the week. And now for the StarCraft news. There's a lot of esports going on. They're always doing stuff. We mentioned the podcast with Artosis last week, so we're just going to kind of skip that. But they actually did it. I've heard it. It's actually pretty good. If you're into StarCraft, it'll be pretty good. But if you're not, give it a listen anyway. Why not?
But is that the only StarCraft podcast?
At the moment, it's the only one I know of, but
okay. I was just curious.
You have to ask Alessandra about that because she would know way more about that than me. Because if there is a podcast out there and they do a live stream, she is in their chat room. I think she has worse insomnia than me because every single one she is there. And if she says she's not there, she's lying. But anyway, we actually have Heroes of the Storm news. Kind of. And all it is there's more to it than this, but the biggest thing for that, they had an AMA going through some stuff there's not a whole lot of stuff we didn't already know. They're going to be changing stuff. But one character in particular got not only hit with the Nerf bat, they got run over with the Nerf truck. And that is everyone's favorite war chief, Sylvanas.
Vol'jin.
I had to. So, if you don't play Heroes or you're not up to date on it, she had a very specific ability, and she was the only one in the game that could do this. If she shot a building, the building, quote unquote, turned off, aka it stopped firing. And all of her abilities could spread to it and all that. So she was very powerful if you could get an advantage. Well, they took that away from her. She doesn't get to turn buildings off anymore. And my first thought is, well, you just killed the character in the game.
Well, was it that? I thought it still did it with the auto attacks. It just wasn't with the abilities.
The way I read it, it was her entire trait got destroyed. Maybe I'm wrong. But I do know they said you had to get closer. So maybe it is just the abilities. So I may have misread it. That is entirely possible. I am, the host of a podcast called Epic Fail.
I'm fairly certain it's just with the abilities.
Well, I will check just to be 100%. Because I don't.
Yeah, Wicked says it's just not our abilities in the chat.
Okay, so she's still AA then with the ability. Okay. Well, regardless, so if you look at like Sylvanas, I mean, this definitely hurts me because I'm not a big Heroes of the Storm fan, but Sylvanas is my main outside of Fleetly. And, so much of what her power was revolving around her, spreading that ability around the minions and onto heroes and then onto the towers. And, she was really like the only type of character in the game that had that ability to really like shut down like a tower. And I don't think it was like that big of an issue because really the only time that it became an issue was if like your opponent was just ignoring that lane, or if it was a case of it being like a siege type, team composition against a non-siege type composition. So, you could get into some situations like that in like quick match. So I don't know if maybe that's a route that I want to take where maybe the dev team needs to look at like siege and like wave clear potential when it comes to, making those team compositions. But all in all, like I'm not too thrilled right now with with this nerf.
Yeah. I did just check it up, and Wicked Kitten, thank you for your correcting me. It is just the abilities, auto attack, still turn it off. Which again means like she just has to get closer to use it. So
yeah, because it seems like Totem, you were saying like they nerf the character or the player rather than looking into the other options that were available, which is kind of strange to me. Like, why not kind of everything? So, I wouldn't be happy with it either. But I'm a new at Heroes, so you could ask Wicked that. She will confirm.
Yeah. So it's not quite as bad. She didn't get hit by the Nerf Mac truck. It was more of the Nerf pickup truck. So it's still a substantial nerf because that was the main reason why people picked her, was she could turn things off from far. So, at least now it'll be less unfair for any team that gets the advantage with her. So, there's been some questionable changes to some of the characters. This I would put up there. I'd maybe nerf the range on her abilities a little bit instead. And then just still let it go, but they're game developers. I'm not, so maybe they have a good reason, like they know what they're doing.
True.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence, so just because like that trait was like her identity basically, and them kind of taking that away a little bit, it kind of leads her more to be, I'm not gonna say like a straight out like assassin type role, but they did like buff her damage a little bit to compensate for the loss of the ability spread in onto the towers.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. She'll get picked less in the pro scene now, I think,
Mm-hmm.
just because of how everything worked out. But At least that's what I'm looking at. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I'll have to check out some of the pro thoughts because I can find those online. And so can anyone else. Reddit's a good place. But yeah, it's just a weird change that they're like, we've messed with her so much, and then here's this nerf finally. I'm like, but okay. You know what else is pretty okay from what I hear?
Ooh, this is a pretty loaded question. Could it be the new Hearthstone expansion?
How'd you know? Why are you in my head?
It's a dangerous place. I should probably not be alone.
I don't recommend looking around too much in there. Yeah, so I have not played it yet. I'm not going to lie. Hearthstone is not the game for me right now. It's just because I fell behind, and as such, I'm so far behind that without a lot of money, it just is not going to be something I keep up on. So, it is what it is. But from what I hear, there's a particular kind of deck, and I can't remember something walk.
Shudderwalk. It's a shaman deck.
Yeah, apparently that's the most fun, overpowered thing in the game. So everyone's playing.
Yeah. Okay. So just to break that down real quick, basically the Shudderwalk Shaman, the card in itself basically recasts every battle cry you triggered earlier on in that match on random targets. So if it's the only character on the board at the time, it'll benefit from all of those effects directly. So there's huge clear potential with that kind of a deck, and it's all over the ladder right now.
Oh, that makes sense. Clear it out. Oh, everything battle cry. Okay, boom. And then all of a sudden here's a battle cry. Double your health, double your attack, triple your attack. Automatically do damage to the face of your opponent. That would be a weird one. That would be kind of funny, though. But, yeah, so apparently it's fun. I don't know yet. I will defer to the Hearthstone experts, whomever they may be, quote unquote, other podcast people.
Yeah, it's not us, but just for other expansion stuff, the arena reward pack will now all be for Witchwood. There's a ton of new cards. It's 135 each. Class is 2 legendary minions each. They have a new single player mode that's going to be coming out pretty soon on April 26th. That is Monster Hunt. So there's going to be 4 special heroes that are going to be involved with that. Each one has their own special cards and hero powers. And, there's also new card activations or spell effects, I guess would be the best way to put it. So there's start of the game, which is pretty self-explanatory. There is Rush, which is basically charge, but you just can't use that minion to attack the enemy hero. And then you have
it's
Echo.
Charge, but crappier.
Yeah, it's basically charge light. And then there's Echo, which is basically a card that can be played multiple times on the same turn. So
yeah, the one thing that might get me into the game every so often is that Monster Hunt thing. If I don't have to actually build my own decks and they give it to me like the dungeon runs, then yeah, I'd probably try that out a little bit. But in terms of anything else, I just kind of... If you don't keep up on it, you fall behind. You fall behind, you can't be as competitive, even if you only want to get to level 15 or something like that. It just, one problem and then another, and eventually you're up to here and you're like, I can't move.
yeah, I mean, you can get to 20 with budget type decks, but it's kind of hard to push beyond that, I'd say.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts, Zeph?
I mean, it's definitely doable. I haven't dived into a lot of the last expansion or so with Hearthstone, but I mean, I have won games in the last, month or so, but I don't play it often enough to warrant purchasing the expansions. So, I just don't keep up on everything. I'm less competitive there than I am in, Warcraft.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I will presume that Galv will be back next week, probably. We'll probably go into a little more Hearthstone stuff next week because he actually plays the game a lot. So we'll probably talk more about it then.
Yeah.
But there is a reason why I asked Totem on tonight. And by tonight, I mean, yes, I asked him today. Because Gal didn't tell me he wasn't going to be here until today. So anyway, and Zeph for the two, for that matter. They both offered, I can join today. So thank you guys.
It was it because I haven't covered this game enough already because I've already done it 3 times this week.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah, we got some Overwatch stuff this week outside of Overwatch League, which is he covers a lot of that too. We don't really cover too much of it here. Go talk to him if you want to Overwatch League stuff because he'll tell you every detail of every play of every game, whether you want him to or not.
I will also give you the spice when it comes to personal opinions on certain players.
There is that too. Yeah, I was reading comments earlier today from him saying that I won't name the player just to be polite, but he was like, yeah, he's kind of up and down. He's really, really good, and then all of a sudden, not so much. And then really good.
Terrible, yeah. I mean, if you're in the Lag and Balls Discord, you probably know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It's high risk, high reward. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I mean, some of the players are like that, and this is how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, we got the archives this week. Yeah, it was this week.
We did. That was on Tuesday.
That was on Tuesday. Yay! I actually played it on Tuesday. I got in there, I played it. It was late at night when I finally got it to work because my internet was garbage all day, and then finally at night my internet was like, yay, we're back! Of course, that was after I yelled at them 3 times that day. That might have had something to do with it. But, yeah, so Reaper, McCree, Genji, and Moira, which you're more up on the lore at this point than I am, Totem. I'm not going to lie. I thought Moira was in Talon.
You know, this is like this is like looking back a ways. I think she'll eventually turn evil when she starts doing more experiments, basically. Because that's when she starts to really use her tech, but like this is before all of that. Kind of like, you know, this one isn't really about Moira. I mean, this is about Reaper and his ascendance to being a bad guy, essentially, based on one of his decisions that he made in this event in particular.
Yeah. If you haven't watched the intro to the actual in-game thing yet, I'm not talking the preview they put out on YouTube. I'm talking the actual in-game one, which is probably on YouTube at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Sit through it and watch it. It's actually pretty cool. And the start screen, when you get to select your characters, is different this time. Like, it doesn't give the whole, here's everybody list. You have your 4 characters on screen, and you can hit select underneath them. And I was like, that's such a weird change, but it made it so much cooler. Just the character selection screen was so much better this time.
But yeah, there wasn't like a ton of dead space like there normally would be.
Yeah, I mean, you could go in with the all-hero, and you still could pick anybody, which there are still some heroes I will maintain should not be picked in the all-hero. This one in particular. Unless you are like a freaking god at that hero. So if you're a pro, pick whoever you want because you're good at the game. Someone like
Unless
me,
it's Zephirah.
Actually, I had a Zephirah on my team. And it was only hard, which I say that for Totem's benefit and a lot of other people only. But for me, hard is about right. And I can probably do the one up if I get a group of people and we're talking and all that. But random pugs, no, I'm just going to stick hard at most. I might dip my toes in eventually on the next one here next week or something. Give people some time to learn it. But no, Symmetra on that one, I wouldn't say is terrible, more so than anywhere else. But I would not put her on my first pick list unless you're really good at her. And I mean really good at her.
I like how you say, well, when you compare it to everywhere else, when she's really not anywhere else.
But you can, when I say that, I mean you can put her in other places. May not be optimal, but she could be used in certain situations. And this is kind of like that. You could do it. It's like, I wouldn't pick, well, if you've listened to Heroes Never Die, you know I wouldn't pick Mei in the first place. I wouldn't pick Mei in this place. Just based on kit. I wouldn't pick Symmetra based on kit. I could see a situation where both of them could work-ish, but you'd have to be really good at them and have your ults timed nearly perfectly to make them good. But that's just me.
So basically, to TLDR this,
Don't pick Symmetra.
don't pick Symmetra, and if you are, be good.
Don't pick Mei.
And
Ever.
don't pick Mei ever for any reason, even if you really want to and think she's really cute.
Overwatch
don't do it.
Devil.
All right. Well, if you guys want like some legit tips to the event, at least for like the actual story one, the one that has the actual Blackwatch characters, I do have some tips for you guys for it if you guys are having some issues. So, there are different like mob archetypes with this one. So there's the assassin, which is like the chick that has like the dual blades basically, and she's the one that like blinks around everywhere and then stuns people. But you can actually like melee her. Yeah, you can melee her to knock them off. And then you can also bait her attack. So basically what happens is the assassin will like dash in like a general direction. And like if you're Reaper or Moira, you can just hit your shift ability and that will like confuse her. Genji can also do the same if he uses his charge when she's dashing. And McCree can also do his combat roll. So like each character can have a way to kind of like disorient the assassin. There's also like animation canceling that you could do before like the mini bosses. So you can like pop your Dragon Blade before the mini boss animation, and then if there's a few seconds left, when the animation starts, that ultimate can be refunded back to you. And I know that works for Moira as well with her Coalescence. I'm not sure if it works with Deadeye, but it probably does. But there's like those heavy machine gun guys, like the really fat ones, not the ones that do the charge shot.
The looking one's only worse.
Yeah, like the heavy assault, I guess would be the best way to put it. And you want to kind of like bait them into a wall because they get stunned when they do impact. So think of it kind of like Doomfist Rocket Punch, essentially. Because those guys hit like a truck. And if he's like out in the open, you're probably going to die, especially on hard and above. Reaper can revive his teammates when he is in Wraith form, which is another big one. Which is really good because, you're able to... basically like cancel your Wraith form if need be in other situations now too, which I'll talk about later. And if you're doing all heroes, if you do have Ana on your team, you can actually sleep the sniper and actually prevent her from actually entering the fight. So, just a few things. So there's a lot of stuff that you can kind of like work around with the different mobs. So like Genjis can build their Dragon Blade really quick from the other assault guys by deflecting that charge shot. So there's just a bunch of little stuff that can just make it a little bit easier. But I know a lot of people were having issues with the heavy assassin or the heavy gunner and just not kiting him properly. So he's probably like the biggest pain in the ass out of all the mobs in this one.
I found that Pharah, if you can stay out of his gun, him shooting up in the air, Pharah's actually really good. She does a ton of damage to him. So the trick is just stay near a building so you can hide, because he will turn at you and kill you in seconds. But Junkrat, I love playing Junkrat. I don't think he's that good on this particular map for the all heroes. I mean, he could be, but I don't know. There's just maybe I was just doing something wrong, which is probably accurate in and of itself. But honestly, I think they give you the best 4 for the map itself, for the actual story version. But I'm also a fan of, like, you put me on Reaper, and I haven't lost yet on normal or hard. Just because I did figure out that whole, I can survive this by being in the Reaper, the ghost form thing. I never remembered names of abilities. Wraith form.
Mm-hmm.
And I can still revive people because all you got to do is be in that area. You don't even have to click them and hold, stand there and do nothing. You can actually, as long as you're near it, good to go. And that includes not line of sight. You can be on the other side of a wall, and as long as that circle pops out and you are standing in it, it still counts. So you could be like, I can stand in the circle, and if he comes around that door, well, I still got Wraith form. and you can get out. So there's that. I did not know about the melee though. I did know you could flashbang them with McCree
Mhm.
and all that. So anything that stuns would work. So and Farah's knockback, her E ability.
Yeah, her concussive.
Yeah, that also stops that. And on hard and above, the assassins can kill. So you need to save your abilities for that whenever they're out. But yeah. What were your... Zeph, have you played this at all? Do you play Overwatch at all?
Not enough to have an opinion.
Well, have you
I'm
played
bad at
it?
shooters. Yeah, not recently.
Okay, so you haven't played the event then.
No.
All right. So Totem, what were your thoughts on the event? Story-wise, whatever, just how, like, compare it to Junkenstein, because that's everybody's favorite.
Well, hold on. For one, that is an unfair comparison because the Drunkenstein is by far still the best event in the history of Overwatch. But like I have to say, like I really enjoyed the story aspect of this one. I like that we're kind of seeing like a look back at some of the events that kind of like had major implications on certain heroes. And with this one with Reaper, I mean, I'm not gonna like say what exactly happened in the mission because probably everyone hasn't seen the cutscene, which was absolutely fantastic. I love getting to see an actual cutscene in Overwatch outside of just that intro that we got initially. But all in all, like I was pretty happy with it. We got a ton of new skins too, which are pretty cool. And I don't know what your favorite one is, but there's a few that really stand out. The Hanzo skin is amazing. He kind of looks like he is part of the Yakuza, basically, would probably be the best way to put it. And then the Sombra skin is amazing. The weapon skin on that one alone is better than a lot of other skins we've seen in the game.
I haven't seen the weapon on that one yet. The only thing of the Sombra I'm looking at, I saw the hair, and I'm just like, I must be the only person who's like, that just does not look right. Something about, I don't know if I'm just used to Sombra's hairstyle on Sombra, and thus she changed and just looks weird, or just something just didn't feel right about it to me. And everyone's like, no, it's amazing. I'm like, you're allowed to think that. I'm allowed to think what I think. And, that's as far as it needs to go. But in terms of the event skins, honestly, I didn't see anything that was like, holy crap. Like, anytime Reaper gets a new skin, I'm interested until I see it. And then if it shows his face at all, which this one at least makes sense.
Right.
It makes sense that it would show his face and have, the mic and all that. That makes sense. I'm not going to mess with that. I just never wanted to see what he looked like ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I've mentioned that many, many times.
Right.
So I would have been fine if this was the reveal of what he looked like. I probably would have been a little more okay with it instead of back whenever the game launched. This is old time Reaper skin. Back then. So I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, none of the skins really stood out. Like, holy crap, I must have that. I mean, I've managed to get, I think, 2 of them just from boxes from playing the thing, because I think I've played it 37 times so far. Really late at night. I have 15 minutes to kill. I was actually late to Raid Wednesday because my game ran long. So, yeah, it's been interesting. I like the pacing of this one better than Uprising, last year's. Like, last one definitely had a tower defense feel. This one this one had more of an assault feel. Like, I know you're trying to get out, but you're having to travel, and there's no, okay, stand in this place for so long and then go. This one was just more of a, you get to move on when you clear the area.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And
I mean, there's a lot more movement too, and like in last year's, there was a lot of downtime, waiting for that next wave to spawn, and you don't really see that same thing with this one.
And them coming in on the boats and then the helicopters and all that fun stuff. I was like, once you learn it on a level, that's when you move up. to the next level, at least in my opinion, for someone like me. Like, once I figured out, okay, this is where they're generally coming, and then even then, it screws up, or not screws up, it changes. Like, if everyone, like, okay, you start off in the vault room. I'm not going to give any story spoiler, but you're in this big vault room and you're trying to get out. And there's like 5 different places, including the ceiling, which I guess would be number 6, where they can spawn from. And the first 15 times you go in and they spawn on the right. So you know what? You can vision team, everyone go off to the right because that's where they spawn from. No, they come in from the ceiling or from the left. Like, it's still random where they come from. And I'm like, I love that. It does seem like it's more wherever you're not is where they're going to spawn than anything. At least for the games that I've played. So if you want to focus, like, oh, we want the right side to spawn, let's all move left. That's at least been my experience of what I've seen. Whether that's accurate, I have no idea. But
I'm pretty sure that's been the case. I haven't like really like mapped it out each time to see what location they are spawning at and see if like one side is favored more than the other, but it does seem random.
Yeah, and that's I always like extra random in my shooters that I am glad that I don't have ammo for, because that would suck. You have to kill stuff to get ammo. Well, I guess I'm meleeing everybody. But I do think Reaper is probably one of the stronger characters for the particular map, so putting him in for the story mode not only made sense, was a good idea.
Yeah, in order, I would probably say Reaper, McCree, Genji, Moira. But I mean, I've seen
Personal
a lot of
play
Moiras
skill, yeah.
that are just doing damage a lot. I mean, you could probably get away with it on normal, but anything beyond that, you actually have to heal. So
yeah,
just an FYI.
Yes. And on the all hero, unless you're really good, I've seen Bridget just can't keep up on healing. Whether that is just my group is that bad, I don't know. But I pick Reaper a lot, and then or I pick for people I can stay away from more often than not, unless I play Reaper. And he has that self heal, so that helps. But I don't know, just Bridget has had issues in my groups healing that particular thing, whether that is on Bridget, on the players, who knows? I'm just going personal experience.
It's understandable just because she needs everyone to be kind of like clumped, basically, because of her aura.
Yeah, and this doesn't promote clumping at all. You kind of need to spread out sometimes. And the sniper, that's all kinds of fun too, because you actually get the from it's from another game, or at least it reminded me of another game. I can't remember that game though. But whenever she locks onto you, you get like a little sound, like, and it speeds up, and then when she fires, you take damage, and if you're just standing still, you die because she headshot you. So that's fun. But yeah, I liked this one. I liked it better than last year's. I played the heck out of last year, so Junkenstein is obviously still my favorite because I told Totem to compare it to Junkenstein, knowing what the answer would be.
You just don't.
Yeah. So here's how the events go. Here's Junkenstein, everything else. So good luck on that, Blizz. We have Junkenstein 2. Depending on how you look at it, they can flip-flop. And other than that, there's everything else.
Then I'd say it's probably Lucio Ball and then everything else. Just because I saw a lot of people that were only playing Lucio Ball.
Yeah.
Whereas in other events, people would play it like the first day or two and then they'd be done with it.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, those would be the 3. Both Junkensteins, Lucio Ball, everything else. And the bottom of the list is probably going to be the May one. The Antarctic one. Still decent.
Absolutely.
Still decent. But in terms of the rest of them, not as good.
It was okay the first time, kind of like the Yeti hunt.
Yeah, that was decent the first time, but if you played it too much, it was like, kind of don't care anymore. And on that note, unless there's something you can briefly talk about for Overwatch League Totem, and when I say brief, I mean brief,
Well,
Tacos.
there's way too much to talk about with the Overwatch League, but we did get like balance changes with the patch that was also on Tuesday. So I'll go over them really quick. I'm not going to say like my thoughts on it, but they did nerf D.Va a little bit. Micro missile explosive damage was reduced by 2. And they also nerfed her impact damage with her boosters, which was a newer change that wasn't on the PTR prior. May's left click now pierces through enemies, not through barriers. And then Reaper saw some changes. He can reload his shotguns after he uses his Death Blossom. He's quicker with his Wraith form, movement speed, and then, as I mentioned earlier, he can now cancel Wraith form by pressing Shift or his primary fire. And then it did like quality of life stuff with Moira, with like transparency, with her abilities, and they also nerfed Zenyatta's like alternate fire with the rate of fire by like 15%. And then there was another thing that was like a stealth change, which was actually a buff, and that was to Hanzo, which I know this is going to probably piss a lot of people off just based on how controversial this one ability is, which it is getting changed and getting removed from the game, just an FYI. And that is Scatter Arrow. It actually saw its cooldown reduced from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. And I know like everyone hates Scatter Arrow, just like they hated Hanzo back when he shot like combat logs at everyone, where you wouldn't have to even be in line of sight and still get headshot by him. That was a thing. But Scatter Arrow is getting replaced very soon. The rework for Hanzo is going to be on the PTR in sometime this month, but they're replacing it with like Rapid Shot. So I think it's going to be like he shoots like his next 5 arrows quicker. So I'm hoping like this cooldown is basically just going to be used for that ability. But I know a lot of people are like, well, what the heck? Now he's getting even more Scatter Arrows, but it's not going to stay that way. So we won't have to deal with it for too long.
Yeah, I found out about the Reaper Wraith form left click thing in the event.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not used to it canceling early, so I was like getting ready, and I hit it because that way I was aiming, and all of a sudden I'm out of form, and he turns and shoots me. I'm like, crap.
Were you just like doing a pre-fire?
Yeah, I was just holding down to get
Mhm.
ready, and then it canceled Wraith form. I'm like, wait, what? I still had like 2 seconds. Crap! And I was too far away from him. I couldn't get away. I died because I was getting ready to res somebody, and it canceled the res because I died. Don't die, kids. It's bad for you.
Yeah, briefly for Overwatch League, Dallas Fuel started their new main tank, OGE. They're looking better. We're seeing Rascalin effect pretty much paired more commonly now with the dive. So Dallas Fuel, not looking as terrible as they have pretty much the rest of the season, because they've only won like 5 or 6 games.
You brought up Dallas Fuel, and I want to mention this. I saw on Twitter, I'm not going to mention his name, a certain ex-player for Dallas Fuel, and a lot of people voting for him for Overwatch League MVP. And I was so tempted to be like, doesn't he need to actually play in Overwatch League to get MVP?
Mm-hmm.
Because, between suspended and his team has a better win-loss record with him not on the team as opposed to on the team.
Less distractions and everything, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
I mean, to be honest, Draven, I don't think he even deserved the World Cup MVP.
Oh, I'm not even going to go there because honestly, I didn't pay too much attention to the World Cup. I caught bits and pieces of it, but I didn't, not nearly enough as I should have. But I just was like, everyone's like, this particular player should get Overwatch League MVP. I'm like, no, he shouldn't.
Right. It's just his fan base.
Yeah,
I mean that's all it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. I was
He's not.
I was
he's not
this close from like, doesn't he need to like play and not be suspended constantly to get that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I would think that'd be 2 requirements. So yeah, it was. I wanted to do it, and I even had it typed out. And then I was like, "There's a level of hate I'm willing to deal with," and I had a feeling that me hitting the enter button there or clicking send would have exceeded that limit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been like, "Yeah, I just don't want to deal with this anymore."
But yeah, I mean, just like a quick standings update, we still have the Valiant and the Uprising are currently undefeated at this stage, so they are both off to a really good start. New York actually lost the game this week, and the Dragons, who have some Korean players, are still looking for their first win. So we're not quite there yet for Shanghai.
Okay, so you brought up the Dragons. I brought up earlier that I bought some skins with my free tokens that I've gotten. Very first one I bought was Shanghai Dragons Diva.
Mhm.
And it was the day that Grigori debuted.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it made sense. I didn't figure they'd win. I was hoping it would be, a good game, and it seemed like it was more or less about where I was figuring it would be. But you know what's going to happen when they win, right?
The world is going to implode.
That is also possible. But I was thinking more along the lines of, can you, when they finally get their first, series win, and that's what he's talking about, they've won maps. Few and far between, but they've won maps. But when they get their first series win and their win column gets that 1 check, the Blizzard Arena is going to go nuts. And it doesn't matter who you're a fan of, even if they played the team you like, you're going to cheer for them too. And because it's one of those things, every time I'm watching them on Twitch, the entire chat is, come on, Dragons, you can do this. Right. I mean, almost like Twitch is not known for not being toxic.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually known quite the opposite. But when the Dragons are on, it seems like it switches to come on, you can do this. A little bit more than the toxic. I mean, there's still the toxic people out there. And, the moderators do what they can. So good job with moderators.
Yeah, that is crazy, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, you got 120,000 people watching and a lot of them talking. It's going to go by quick. But what I've noticed when they're on in particular, it just seems like Twitch chat turns off and it becomes come on Dragons chat for the most part. I mean, not entirely, but more than any other team. They are the internet sweethearts that are just come on, you guys can do this. Please do this. We just need you to do it once, and then after that, we'll shut up. And then they might win this. Crap, no. They might, no. And it's, I feel bad for them, but at this point, I don't know. It's just, how long is it going to be?
Yeah, I mean, that's really the big question, because you basically have these Korean players that got picked up, and you have these Koreans trying to learn Chinese, so they're trying to do comms in basically a mix of Chinese and English. And none of them, well, I mean, obviously the Koreans aren't fluent in Chinese yet, so there's been a lot of times where, they run dive, and either their support players just aren't in position, or the tanks are diving too early, or someone's just left alone, and that the teams are just executing and just diving better than them, essentially, is what it is. So as soon as they can get clear communications, the team is going to win a game. They've shown a lot more potential compared to what we've seen in Stage 1 and Stage 2. So I'm not going to say it's definitely going to happen in this current stage, but I am more hopeful with the additions that they have made that they can win a game, as opposed to before I'm this team is going to go 0-40.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they get a win this stage.
Yeah,
and if not, next stage I can pretty much guarantee. I won't say guarantee. I can hope for a winner, maybe even 3 wins if they get lucky. I'm not gonna say they're gonna go from we're the worst team to we're gonna go undefeated this one because it's funny, but it would be. That would be kind of an amazing storyline. They go from, we just learned how to talk to each other. What you're saying, they're calling out in languages that not everyone understands. So it's okay. But it'll be interesting. Speaking of interesting, we got some Warcraft stuff. And it might not be interesting to everybody. But darn it, I said so. And since we were talking about Twitch, Warcraft on Twitch, Warcraft has dungeons. There will be no, that's something else. The MDI is started as of last night, actually, I believe. Was its first. It was the Chinese realms. Yeah, it was Chinese. So I didn't get to catch a lot of it because it was on really late. And it was still going when I went to bed at 6 in the morning. But there was this one team that not only completed a level 22 key in 10 minutes, which is insane to begin with, they decided not to take a healer with them. So it was a tank and DPS. A level 22 key. Now, I've done a 16 key. I've done a 17 key once. We didn't get it in time. They did a 22 in 10 minutes without a healer. And I'm just like, what? Be right back.
You can check.
I have to
Yeah.
uninstall the game.
Yeah, I mean, I can technically, and I'm just thinking about that, like, there are classes that have strong
Off heals.
healing. Off heals, like Priester is a good one, Druids, I think, I don't know, but real strong off heals, like technically, like, honestly, and this is just a thought, and I might make a lot of people mad at my philosophy on this, or because I've just played the class so long where I sort of feel this way, or at least for this expansion. Disc Priest, really, if you look at it is a DPS class. It's just a superior DPS if you're geared appropriately for the DPS. They just happen to have a little bit more heals than Shadow.
Well,
so it's
here's
doable.
the thing about the particular thing they did. They died like 9 more times than the other team did, but they still had such a fast time that it didn't matter because they just ran through it. So I think what they just said was, we're just going to Zerg this and hope for the best, which is something they had to have practiced because you're not going to pull that out on a tournament if you haven't practiced it. At least no one sane would do that. So I'm just sitting there like, I might try that.
No, I mean, since I don't really play Warcraft anymore, yeah, I'm definitely not trying it. I know it doesn't translate well in Overwatch either.
Going no healer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know.
As quick play has probably taught all of us.
Quick play and the all heroes mode has told us, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was interesting. Another thing that I found interesting, Wowhead developed a overlay on Twitch, which you'll have to put the information in, I would imagine. I haven't done a whole lot of research into it, where people can like mouse over certain parts of the screen that they're watching and get like your item level, your talent build, your gear you're wearing, all that fun stuff. And it got approved from both WoW and Twitch. So it's out there. You can go and get it. I thought that was cool.
What Wowhead does on the site itself is that you log into their site via the there's a button you click that takes you through the Blizzard API and takes them back, and then I'm assuming that's how they collect the data they need.
That makes sense.
It's just another way to like enhance the Twitch experience, which is always good.
Yeah, it's a streamer thing. If you're not streaming, you're not going to need it. So I'm sure there's an add-on that comes with it to help with it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
and boys and girls, I'm sure that they're going to tweak it and make it better and all that. So give them time. If it messes up, don't be upset.
Yeah, it'll get better. They usually do, unless they break it.
Oh, and I think it's mostly, to be honest, I think it's mostly from a Blizzard standpoint because, the site in the background doesn't always update as fast, for like gear updates or all of that. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, it happens. And we got one more piece of news. And it's not really news because we kind of know it, but it's kind of more of a reminder. As of today, you literally have 4 months to get any Legion-specific stuff. Actually, you have less than that. But you have 4 months that are like to the day. Because today is April 14th. You have until August, so April is month 4, August is month 8, 4 months literally. That's how long you have to get this stuff done. Now there's the pre-patch. Will the Mage Tower still be allowed in the pre-patch? We don't know. Probably not. Will the Mythic plus 15, will you still be able to get that appearance? Probably not. So you probably have 3.5 months, 3 months to get this done?
Yes. So anything you want. The other thing I tell people too as well, other than the clear, obvious things there, is your artifact fishing thing. So do that because it's going to be much harder to get in next expansion. I mean, very much harder. It's still going to be there, but it's just going to be more of a pain. So please go do it. Any, crafting things too that you want to do. With the changes or potential changes there as well. If you have any, previous achievements that you want to go and try, go do it.
Some of the achievements, as with every expansion, there are some that are hard, but are going to be even harder come another expansion because you need X number of people, or you need to not one-shot things, or you have to take so much damage and then one-shot. It's just there are rare occasions where, and Oduar is a prime example with the dragon in Oduar. I forget the name of it. But that achievement where you have to roast the dwarves is way harder to do now than it was then. Just because now you pretty much have to take off all your gear, otherwise you one-shot them. And you can't use dots at all because that will kill them. So you have to be very careful of what classes even show up and what they can do. As opposed to at the level, it was hard to do, it just took a while. But now, you have to actually make some actual plans as opposed to, we're just going to go, we'll get it. So, achievements, you want to get some of this stuff done. The fishing artifact, from what I hear, yes, we're keeping it. It's the only artifact that we're basically going to keep using and have use with. But it's apparently going to be useful for reasons, and without spoilers, I won't go into more detail. Mage Tower, obviously, Mythic plus 15 achievement, that kind of thing. All these things, you have approximately 14 weeks, which sounds like more than 4 months, but because months have more than 28 days in them, it adds up. You get a couple extra weeks in there. That's the maximum. You probably have closer to 10. So start getting this stuff done if you really want it. Me, what I've been doing, I started gearing and leveling, not leveling, but gearing and eye leveling my druid. Because I want, steroid bear and glowy bear and, stuff like that. Because it'll be fun. And, obviously anything else you want to do, that's fine. But there is more limited time things you want to get to. Go over to Wowhead. They have a whole section of it. Things to do before Legion. Go to YouTube. There's like 8,000 videos. Things to do before Legion's over. So find the people who talk the way you like. They'll give you all the info. And with that, I believe we have a finalized show. Okay. So, let's do some shout-outs, shall we? Zeph, you're a female, so you get to go first. Because ladies first. I do polite things every so often, just not the totem. So, Zeph, do you have any shout-outs?
Type of relationship.
Yeah. So, Zeph, do you have any shout-outs for the week?
It's where we buzz it, right?
I'm going to go ahead and say there's some kind of an issue here. So, Totem, we're going to let you go first.
Ooh, even better. Yeah. Well, obviously, I got so much stuff going on the podcast scene. So I just like to shout out my co-hosts, Ren on the Batcap, Slambo, and Spider from Overwatch League Network, and Edinar from Here's Never Die. Oh, and I have to shout out this for her article, and of course, giving us another opportunity to talk about Rule 34 on the podcast, which is always fun.
So mad you didn't have me come on for that show. Saw you were talking about it, and I was like, bring me on, it'd be funny. Please tell me there was a My Dong joke in there. I haven't.
I threw it in there, yeah, because I'm like, well, we've never been one to shy away from this stuff, seeing as we kind of talked about the more not safe for work stuff, and I also brought up some of the more inappropriate esports team names.
Yeah,
among other things.
Okay, Zeph, are you back?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, not a problem.
I had a cat issue.
Okay. Do you have any shout-outs then?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I had a leveling buddy the last few days playing Horde. Subwatt. Thanks for hanging out. Really appreciate it. Gal showed up to our rubber chicken raid the other night. Thanks, Gal. Just because and apparently Carrie has sent me some mail in game, which I have to go get after the show. So thank you.
Yay. As for me, I will again this week thank person known as Kat for the headset. I still am curious why you were willing to spend as much as you did, because I saw the price tag on the receipt. So happy birthday, early birthday to me. I don't even give myself birthday presents this expensive.
Right.
Well, for multiple reasons. One, I don't care about myself that much. No, wait. Scratch
Zeph
that.
During game, but I also bought some Nikes. They were like $30. So that was my birthday gift to me.
Yay. Other than that, as the usual, I will give a shout out to just nice people in general. There's not enough of you out there. On occasion, I am one of you. Not very often, but on occasion, I try to be. Unless your name's Totem, and then I'm not.
No.
Well, we have nice people, then we have Draven.
Yeah, you have people like me who just... We don't really know where we fit there. Like, we can go both ways in terms of, are we nice or not?
Meh, you're okay, I guess.
Yes, Firefly reference. I'm probably the only one who got that. But anyway.
No, I did. I just wasn't going to point it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this isn't a show where we have writing on the wall, Draven. Come on.
No, we just have really crappy whatever the heck that is on the wall. I will figure out a way to cover that eventually. Or I will just, I don't know, turn my camera off. That's probably the better idea anyway.
Yeah.
For you or all of us?
Why do those things have to be exclusively mutual?
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that, how do people get a hold of you guys? Zeph, I'm going to assume you're okay. No cat issues going on, so I'll let you go first this time.
Yeah, well, I'm holding the cat now, so. The said cat, anyway. She's being awfully quiet. But you can find me, I carried it in-game. Zephirah, no funky letters or nothing like that. Or you can find me in the Epical Discord. Zephirah_Zella on Twitter, or the blog, which is zephirahsadventure.wordpress.com. We also have a Discord, which is on the blog, so, I link you sort of everywhere. Click on it. Come talk to me. Say hi. I don't bite, I promise.
keeping my comment to myself. If this was another Discord, I'd be like, liar. But
That's an after show thing, not recording.
oh, okay.
You know, my Discord.
Either way,
I mean, Wicked already confirmed it, so
Wiki confirms a lot of things.
yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
she knows way too much about me.
Okay, well, Totem, how do people, if they were so inclined, get a hold of you on the internet?
Well, I'm over on the Twitter. That's at, Little Bluebird, mostly trolling other podcasters. That is at Totemlydrunk CTR. I'm live on twitch.tv/OWLN show 3 nights a week. That's Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific time for Overwatch League Network, covering all things Overwatch League. Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we have the Back Cap, which is like our tier 2 Path to Pro contender show. And then on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time, we have Heroes Never Die, which is our Variety Overwatch podcast, basically covering anything and everything. I mean, we talk about a number of topics there. And we also do have our Discord at discord.me/OWLN show.
Things that they could possibly talk about on Heroes Never Die. Rule 34.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that is, I would advise you not looking it up if you're not prepared. Just saying. But you're also on the internet right now, so I would imagine you probably do know what Rule 34 is.
And it's kind of what the internet is for. Or so I've been told.
There's
only been songs written about it.
Yeah, the internet is really, really great.
Yes.
I was kind of hoping you were going to give me one of those crap questions I used to do to you. But
No. But one other note real quick. I am hosting a game night next Saturday. That's it, April 21st at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So we're doing like Overwatch custom games with the community. So if you guys want to stop by all means, it'll be a fun night.
they try to be inclusive to everybody. Even if you're terrible like me, they will find a spot for you. I haven't joined recently, but I used to show up every so often for some of those game nights. And it was fun when I wasn't repeatedly getting killed because I'm terrible.
Well, I'm also terrible. Probably worse than you, Draven. Shocker.
Totem could vouch for me on that one. That might be a stretch.
I don't know. I've never seen Zeph play. But I wouldn't be like completely shocked. So who knows?
Yeah. As for me, since Totem's not going to give me one of those terrible questions as a repayment of all the terrible ones that I gave him.
That would be that's way too many episodes for me to compile a better version of it, because I'd have to have
99.
the same amount of impact as those past 99 episodes.
Well,
so
yeah, I missed one because of the sound issue. But other than that, I think I gave you like... Wait, no. There was actually one where I set one up and I just skipped it entirely, which screwed Squid up so bad.
and one was a repeat, so technically they weren't all unique.
All right, so probably about 95, 96 out of the first 100. There's a random goofy question there at the end. But anyway, getting hold of me, Twitter, easiest way, honestly. At Draven Dresden, because I am horribly, horribly creative when it comes to random things everywhere. Because I will use Draven Dresden everywhere. Makes it easier. Everyone will know it's me that way. As long as you're polite or civil, we're good. So, yay. And I'm going to give a special shout out to my cable company. Guess what? You're getting a phone call tomorrow. Yeah, have fun. Legal stuff. First off, I have to mention, because I forgot to last week, I had to actually edit it in. I think I managed to do that. I don't remember. The opening show song is from bensound.com, and I am allowed to use it because it was licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Because I have to remember to do that. What I'm going to end up doing, though, honestly, I'm just going to record something so I can just throw it in. That way I don't have to say it every time, because I'm going to forget every time. I know. Not every, but a lot. But, now that that's out of the way, we have a Discord for the show if you want. There's not a ton of people. It's mostly, people we know. Totem's in it
come on
for
over.
now.
Yeah, until I leave again.
Yeah, probably. bit.ly/epicfail discord. Easy. Come say hi. Do an @Scarlet because, it'll be funny. I'm going to do that after the show, actually. That'll be fun. She's in bed, though, so. Anyway, there's that. We have a Patreon for the show. If you feel like spending your money and giving it to the show, one, you can do that at patreon.com/podcastepicfail. $1 a month, $5 a month. I think the maximum we put it up to was 100. And knowing no one in their right mind is ever going to do it. But it's there if you decide to. And two, we'll say thank you. I will say thank you. The show will say thank you, all that fun stuff. We're not going to understand your decision, but we will accept it, and we will thank you for it, and we will possibly love you for it, but not in a weird, creepy kind of love, just more of a platonic kind of thing.
Yeah, and don't expect the fails to come less at that point.
We just might do extra fails just for that.
No.
Yeah, you're just gonna keep adding to it. So think of it like in addition.
But if you look at the Patreon and look at the different tiers, things are worded in such a way that you know what you're getting. Like the higher it's more fails. So it's not you're gonna get less fails. No, you're gonna get more. Because we can, I can put in more effort into actually failing. Which, believe it or not, sometimes comes easy, sometimes it's an accident, which is an actual fail. Example, earlier tonight when the opening credit music stuff. Theme music, that's what I was looking for. The opening theme. Right, see that right there? That was, or was it? Is this a real fail or I'm doing this? But the one at the beginning of the show with the opening theme music, that was an actual fail. That wasn't a pre-planned thing. I didn't hit the button to stop it. So with that, I believe that's a show, now that my internet is deciding to go completely insane again. So, has anyone have any last words? For the show, I mean.
If you're so nice and would like to have a leveling buddy, Horde and or Alliance, in my Discord, you may see me, random nights. But if I'm going to do any sort of event with the community, I'll put that on the blog. So this is sort of like, hey, if you want to level something, come on over. I'm always looking to do something with somebody. So I may even post in the Discord for Epic Fail if you would so wish.
Which one of those is the last word?
So, leveling buddy,